That is not.
Mm-mm.
It's the wrong Brandon. Oh, there we go. There we go. And we are live, baby. Greetings, most honorable listeners and masters of the martial arts. I am Travis.
That means I'm Chris.
And I'm Big Los.
And this is CTE, and this is going to be an experience for you. Chris, I thought we lost you there for a second because you was moving and saying stuff without actually showing something. But all right, I got music for today.
They call me Backdoor Santa. I make my runs about the break of day.
It's Christmas week, man. Christmas
They
week.
call me Backdoor Santa. I make my runs about the break of day. I make all the little girls happy.
Oh, man.
All the boys are out to play.
I'm like the old uncle.
I ain't like old Saint Nick. He don't come but once a year. Oh, 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 oh. I ain't like old Saint Nick. He don't come but once a year.
Once a year. That's it. Once a year.
All right, man. Oh my goodness. How's everybody doing? How was your weekend? Yeah, that's it. How was your weekend, guys?
Weekend was good. It's kind of like we was all together still.
It kind of was.
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
My weekend was full of snow though. I tell you what, man, it snowed up there on like
Yeah.
Wednesday, I think. And boy, we were sloshing around, walking around.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Actually, they got it pretty bad down where they. I mean, we got some snow up here, but we didn't get what they got. They got pretty bad down there out in the city there.
Man,
We're
I
like
saw
4.5
people
Yeah, they were
hours.
like 8 inches. It was crazy.
Yeah, we're like 4.5 hours north of them, so we probably got maybe like 3 or 4 inches. So it wasn't that bad, but still wasn't what they usually don't get hit like that. So that's what makes it, like, you know what I mean, that much more
Yeah,
challenging.
it was crazy.
I remember a couple years ago at one of Jotty's camps, it snowed like that, and it was
Sam, that is Backdoor Santa by Clarence Carter. but yeah, so I saw people like skating, like skiing and
In New York City?
snowboarding. Yeah, in the city.
oh wow.
They were going up like ramps and stuff. Like they were just slinging each other up. It was ridiculous, man.
Listen, that's how people get when they don't get no snow. Remember when we went to Super Grands in Niagara Falls,
Yeah.
and Regina never been in snow like that, and she was out there making snow angels and having snowball fights. I'm like, man, what y'all doing? Like, we don't play in this.
Like,
We find someplace warm to get with some hot cocoa. You better stop
Yeah.
playing. Don't hit me with a snowball.
I'm grown. When I was a kid, yes. Yes.
Oh
But
man.
not anymore. Hey, Mama Walker.
What's up, Mama Walker?
All right.
What's up,
Hey,
Mama?
Coral, how are you?
What's up, Coral?
All right, let's get into it. Because most people are probably tuning in to see what we're gonna say about the Virtual Fight Tour. And this podcast is sponsored by the Virtual Fight Tour. We just had it December 19th. If you did not watch it, I don't know what you were doing.
Ooh,
You were lame. You should have watched it.
take that
Um,
out.
Yeah. All right. Here we go. Virtual
Let's get
Fight
it.
Tour 4 review. You know what? I'm gonna bring up actual card so we don't lose track of what actually happened on the doggone card real quick. Hold on. Doggone it. All right. Here it is.
There we go.
There it is. So
So how did you guys? Oh, sorry. How did you guys end up? What were your predictions? What did you do? I was 4-2.
I had Brianna. I had Christian. I had a pick'em for the girls. Melanie and Teresa. I don't know who I picked. Obviously, I picked Chris. I picked Jason, and I picked the All Stars. So, what does that make me? 2 and
4
2, 4 and 2.
2 and 2.
Yeah, you picked
2 and
Brianna,
2.
you picked Christian, you picked
No,
that's
yeah,
2.
2 and 2.
Me.
And you said you were 3 and 3? Well, 3 and 2, and
Yeah.
then the
3
other
and
one
2
we
or
had no
one
idea.
draw because we got to figure it out.
Yeah, I was 4
Where
and
you
2
at, Trav?
also. 4 and 2 also. Because and honestly, it's because I went with my heart with Jason over Yaskar. My head kept telling me, "Hey,"
What's up,
because I
Mike
said
P?
this on there. I was like, "Yeah," head saying Yaskar's gonna win, and my heart is saying Jason, and I went with my
Yeah, I remember you
heart,
saying
and
that, yeah.
yeah, and Jason did not pull it out. Yaskar won.
I thought Jason fought really well, man. I know we're gonna get into it, but
Yeah, we're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into
Yeah.
all of this
Yeah.
to break down of what happened in VFT 4. So let's start off. What's up, Mike?
What's up, Mikey P?
Rashad, yes, there were some upsets in the Virtual Fight Tour 4. You can probably call it that. So let's get into it. Let's start off with Brianna and Hope. Who wants to go off first? Well, let's acknowledge that Chris, you were in the building.
yeah,
All
I
right.
was.
So this is your first time being at the Virtual Fight Tour.
That's usually I'm sitting in the booth with you.
Usually
you
you're in
know.
the booth with me, but this is the first time you've ever actually been in the building for the Virtual Fight Tour. And that's one thing. 2, Chris, hold on. Matter of fact, yeah. How did you like the Virtual Fight Tour being there in the environment?
what's the live experience like inside the in the environment of it?
In there, it's really cool because you pretty much only have fighters and coaches in the building, in the room. I mean, it's a little bit more of an intimate setting, in a smaller setting than at a big tournament. You're kind of all stuck in the same area. You guys, but I mean, we're all professionals at this point. We know what we're doing and we've been there. But as the card got in it, the Brianna and Hope jumped off right out of the gate with some action back and forth, quick pace. And as it kind of went, the energy in the room kept picking up and filling up. So for me, at least, by the time I got ready to go up and get in there, like I was super hype and I could feel the buzz in the room. You had a lot of who's who in there, kind of giving you some either support or a little frowny or whatever it is. They just it's that angst in being real close, tight knit, and with everybody. It brought out an atmosphere that really made it you want to be competitive, and I like that.
And Chris, before we even jump into all of this, real quick.
I got a soundboard.
And I let it go the whole time, Chris. I'm run it back again. Applause, right?
Oh man, thank you guys.
I would have hated if you had lost on here and have to come on here and talk about that, because I'd have been like,
"Woo! Come on, man! That was one of the most motivating factors, man. Come on Monday, getting choked out by somebody. Like,
yeah,
my bad, I sucked. My bad. I got a show and I'm commentating.
I'm like, yeah, Chris, he had you, but anyway, I'm glad he didn't. All right, let's get into the first fight, which was Brianna versus Hope. What were you guys' thoughts when you guys watched this fight?
I was surprised at Hope's control of the ring. I really did think that Brianna would push her around a lot more, run her into the cage, rough her up a little bit more. I think that maybe had a little bit to do with a little bit of cardio because she did push pretty hard in the first round. But that was one of the big things that I was super impressed with Hope being able to control that ring in a smaller environment. But man, Brianna stood right there and her takeoff was nice too. So, but that was, for me, that was the biggest impressment point on that. Brianna did her thing. She fought really well, fought hard, capitalized on some settlements, and looked good.
Yeah, I was impressed with that. My only critique is that I thought Hope should have pushed a little bit more, especially being down towards the end. I thought Hope had a decisive speed advantage. When she would push, she would score. When she would really just commit, but she was eating some shots. So I know that will make you a little hesitant. But when you're down, you just got to go for it. So like I thought that there was, especially towards the end, I thought she was filling her out. And I thought she was doing the right thing. keeping the pace at a certain thing. But another thing is that you have to be, as a fighter, you have to be able to change the pace of the fight. And if you control that pace and have it slow and then speed it up in times for like 30 seconds and get that person out of it, and then you slow it back down, it throws that person's rhythm off. And I thought Hope was holding it, keeping it close, not letting Brianna get too far out. I thought Brianna showed a lot of poise in that fight, especially being a younger fighter. She didn't get the moment, didn't become too big for her. She just went out there and did her thing. So I was really impressed with that. And then I thought at that point, I was like, all right, in the third round, this should be where Hope starts to really push her to try and because I wasn't, if I was Hope, I shouldn't have been worried about the defensive sidekick. It was the reverse punch that was coming down the pipe afterwards. But if I score and move my head when I'm scoring
Offline. Yes.
Yeah, offline. I think Hope would have won that match, but she just didn't have the aggression in that match especially towards the end. And that's why one of the things I said. Yeah, that's one of the things I had noted before was how she was going to respond if she got hit, and I was just curious as to if that was the leading factor. Go ahead, Los.
First, I want to say I was rather impressed by how Hope responded with getting hit, because she did get hit a few times in there, right? And she kind of, I mean, it went to overtime, or she only lost by 1 point. So
yeah, 11-10.
It wasn't she was getting in there. Like, I mean, it wasn't like she was getting hit, but she knew she had no choice but to get in. Like, I mean, there wasn't a lot that she could do on the outside. I thought Brianna fought really, really well. I really thought she used her length really well.
Yes.
As far as even when Hope was kind of being already on the outside, at times when Brianna would go, she would keep her in that space, right? Or if Hope was moving, she would almost, throw something to kind of push Hope out a little bit more. So now Hope's got to work harder to get back in. Like you said, in the third round, though, I thought Hope had enough movement. I thought Brianna was kind of slowing down a little bit. And I thought Hope had enough movement, but she had a lot of uncertainty, right? Mm-hmm. The uncertainty, or is this the right time to go? Is this the right time to go? And because she missed, I kept saying opportunities, right? When we in this sport, man, and we'll talk about, I'll probably bring up in all the matches that we have. It's all about the opportunity, man. And opportunities are going to present themselves, and you either take advantage of it or you don't. And I felt like in those moments, Hope just did not take advantage of those opportunities when they were presented to her. Didn't mean she had to go like go, but there was times where, man, if you was watching, you like now, and that wasn't her moment. Like, you know what
happens if Hope pushes it for 3 exchanges and gets 3 scores, right? At that point, she might be up 2 points. At that point, you can play the small person's game and start moving and making Brianna extend and be overextend and everything like that, and make her make more mistakes. And you can just control her at that point.
But what I did notice too with Brianna, though, man, is and this is what we had talked about too, is that every time Hope went and got a point, Brianna came back and got one.
Yep,
got one too. Yeah, there was no
rally
like on that side.
She went back. So that's what you're saying too. Like if Hope would have got a few in a row. Like you mean, but almost anticipating, and this is, again, we do this as fighters anyway, right? I know if I go and score on you, you're very anxious to come back and get that point back, right? So if Hope understood that and kind of had the right counters or the right movement or the right technique for when Brianna was coming to get that other point, now Hope was able to score 2 points within those 2 exchanges, right? Absolutely, I thought, honestly, man, I was really impressed with the girls. And then just speaking with Brianna after and understanding she's coming back from an ACL injury, I believe she said. This is her first time competing, and just that anxiety, not sure how she was going to do. And when you watched her fight, you never knew that she was coming back from an injury. So I was impressed by both girls or females. And
both say women.
Yeah,
ladies.
I can't say girls anymore. I apologize.
You can't say female either, just so you know that.
Okay, well, ladies, I was impressed by both of the ladies on how well they fought. Again, it was good. I was impressed. I was happy with that.
All right, so let's move on to the next fight, which was Christian and Jarrell. This was an interesting fight. I thought this fight went kind of similar to how I thought it might go. I thought it was just a little too much. I thought Jarrell's this matchup was a little too much for Jarrell at this particular time. Too soon. I thought this fight, who we had to fight, was a little too soon, especially with Christian.
Yeah, it's a tough fight. Christian is a tough fight, like 100%. And I mean, I
That's one
respect
of those
the
things.
aggravation to get himself up to fight this fight, but yeah, I agree. I think it was a little too much, a little too soon.
One of the things I've always said, especially since we even started this, the better fighter wins when you have multiple rounds. The longer the fight goes, to me, the better fighter always wins. Now, if you watch the first round, Jarrell was pushing him at that beginning of that first round. He was in there, and then Christian came back. Yeah, Jarrell was getting off, right? And then Christian
a one-round fight, that would have been a very different fight.
Exactly. That would have been a complete different type of fight if it was just a one-round fight, because Jarrell would have been in there and would have been able to push that last little 30, 45 seconds and got up instead of laxing off knowing he has more rounds or whatever. But at that time, Christian made adjustments and got off on him. And then just kind of made sure he understood. Even when Jarrell would make a push or score 2 times in a row, Christian would come right back and score 3 times. He was making sure he like letting you know that, all right, you got off on that one. Now here I come. And now you could see Jarrell started to lose gas. And when he started to lose gas, his his form started to go a little bit. So, some of his blitzes were off, when some of his kicks were dropping heavy, and he wasn't blitzing the way. The arms were just kind of flailing. And
it looked like sorry, go ahead. I was just saying, it looked like two great offenses going at each other, and one outscoring the other one.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. The adjustments that were made were when to go forward, but not necessarily on the counters and the movements and when to disengage and when to do those things. So what it looked like to me, from at least there in the standpoint on the outside, kind of preparing for mine, it looked like two good offenses that one just kept throwing darts. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I do want to come back and see this one in a in the whole setting.
I want Jarrell to compete in tournaments, right? I want Jarrell to compete in some more tournaments, get his footing, get his timing, his timing, his win, all of that back. And then, because Jarrell used to hit people with some wild stuff that you just didn't even see, and his footwork would be crazy. He'd be moving, angling, blasting people. And that type of fighter is a difficult type of fighter to actually stay in front of. So I'm curious. I want to see Jarrell get back into it, get back to used to being fighting, getting his win, getting his timing, and then competing a few times in the division with Christian in there and getting to understand how Christian fights. To me, I just thought it might have been a little too soon for Jarrell to be in that, but still was rooting for him just to be out there. All right, Los.
Yeah, I thought, again, I was the first round was very impressed with Jarrell. Like, he came out, like you said, he was in gangbusters. He was going, looked sharp in the uniform that he was rocking. He looked good in that first round. But then what it really looked like was it's almost like you can watch it. You can, like, as you're watching Christian, you're watching him realize where Jarrell had to be to take off and blitz him. And once he realized that, he knew right when Jarrell looked like he was about to get into that spot, he would just take off on him.
Yep.
Right. And it was like so it's like Jarrell couldn't get to the spot that he wanted to go, because every time he was getting ready to get to that spot, Christian was already coming. Right. This is what it just kind of looked like to me. Like, you kind of like looking how you see him thinking through this whole process. And then, as you said, like, it was like every time Jarrell would possibly get off, Christian was back on like 3-4 points, like, in a row. Like, you know what I mean? So, and you can see it. Like, and the toughest thing too, man, is when you can't. We talk about momentum, right? When you can't stop the momentum, sometimes it feels like an avalanche, right? So you getting tired sometimes isn't that you're just out of shape. It's just that anxiety or that trying to stop this avalanche that's coming at you and not understanding what you can do to stop it, right? And that's what I felt I kind of saw with Jarrell. Like you said, I think it'd be great for him it was good for him to see kind of what's out there and what he has to prepare for when he decides to come back and compete again. And if Christian's going to be one of those top guys he's going to have to deal with, it's great to kind of see that speed and be able to adjust and predict how you want to go forward moving with that. But I was impressed. Listen, he did a lot better than what I guess I could say. I don't want to say what I thought he can do, because I haven't really seen him compete that much, or in a while. But I was pleased with how well he did. And that's what I said in the show, man. Like, a lot of these fights, you had some fights that are a little more lopsided than others, but there was some good stuff that was seen that people
Yes.
can take and be able to grow from.
Right. And especially with
I
us
agree
talking
with
about literally like what we saw and like, okay, now this is where they made the mistake or blah, blah, blah. And we're just showing like people and saying, hey, this is happening. This is what's going on. Thank you, Martin. Martin posted, he said, you guys always do a great job commentating, very insightful. If someone watching didn't know anything about our sport, they would still come away with a better understanding of the sport.
Martin,
So,
thank you. Appreciate
yeah,
that.
thank you a lot. That's truly what we try and do. To just to give that insight that maybe sometimes even when we're watching it, you know, we're not analyzing, but when you sit in this chair and you have to analyze everything, you start to see things a little bit differently. And we'll get into that a little bit later. Let's get right into Mel and Teresa, and then we're gonna bring on our guests in a few minutes. But let's get Mel and Teresa real quick.
Yeah, man.
What did you guys think about this particular matchup?
I will start. Can I start?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
All
sir.
right.
I was gonna say
Again,
let's start.
I haven't had a chance to watch any of these girls fights. That's why they kind of was like my pick 'em.
Ladies.
I just threw it up, ladies. I'm sorry, ladies. I didn't get a chance to watch these ladies fight. Sorry. Listen, I apologize. I don't mean
Caveman.
I haven't had a chance to watch these ladies fight. So I was really impressed by both of them. Teresa in the first round per se, but then watching Melanie how she adjusted to what Teresa was trying to do, I thought was phenomenal. I believe I was saying it in the fight. It was like Melanie was using her front hand to make Teresa feel as if she was close to her, but she really wasn't that close. So anytime Teresa would try to blitz, she would run into the side kick or the hook kick, right? So, and I think it was the side kick that actually was
the
really
side kick was the main thing.
The side kick was really
Yes.
slowing Teresa down, and I think it was awesome. Like again, as you said, as you're analyzing it, you're watching this, and that front hand being out in front, it just gives the illusion that you're closer to the person. And she was kind of squatting a little bit too, so you look like you're in a puncher's position, or I can punch you, but I really can't punch you. And that was really good to see. Then once you got her kind of staying outside in that space, so now her body's in a position where she could blitz off of it too.
Yep.
Right. So she has a perfect frame and body position for what it was she needed to do to be successful. I thought they both fought really well. Again, Teresa said it afterwards. She was gassed. She didn't know what to do. And I was like, those sidekicks probably took something out of you. She's like, yeah, those sidekicks definitely was kind of slowing me down. So I love that when people can actually take it and not take it, but like understand what they need to do to get better. Understand what it was in that moment that kind of derailed them for a little bit. Like, you know what I mean? And maybe next time she'll know not to be deceived by that hand. And
one of the things that Teresa said that in the post interview which was very interesting is that she was training for the fadeaway hook kick when on the blitz that Mel throws, right? And Mel was throwing the side kick instead. And the thing is once you realize somebody's game plan is different, you have to be able to adjust that your game plan for that, because she kept getting caught. And one of the things I do like about Mel, I think it's funny to me, I think Mel is almost like underrated because I've seen her fight very well against a lot of different women. And so I think a lot of times we overlook all the rest because, you know, we point at Morgan and just is what it is. But to me, Mel has been one of those people that I thought that if she wasn't, she has had a couple injuries. I thought she could actually make some noise in this and win a lot more overalls there. But sometimes I've seen her not be on. You know what I mean? When it's just like, I'm not. She just
is her thing.
Yeah, her consistent, a little bit inconsistent. But I always thought Mel had a lot of talent and can control a lot of different fights. Go ahead,
Absolutely.
Chris.
She controls the ring real well.
Very well.
She's a counter fighter by nature. That low deep stance gets you to bait. She does like to throw the hook a lot. She didn't. She switched to the side. But what I noticed was like when she did bait off to switch to the hook, she would lean in and then lean back out to create that moment, that distance for that
effect.
And that's one of the things that she's always been really, really good at. I think one of the things that, if anything, may have been a slight drawback to me before this for Mel was her confidence in her takeoff when the movement got settled. She did a really good job at that this time, planning her feet, getting ready, biding that time, and then knowing when to take off when that opportunity presented itself. Yeah, Mike P.
Mike
Exactly.
made
She's
a
not
good
an
point. When
offensive.
Mel was aggressive, she didn't do well. Once she faked and used her distance, she blew up that big lead. And and that was at the beginning of the match. She tried to push off and be more aggressive, and I think that is part of the psychological, I don't know, manipulation of the cage. You know what I mean? Like once you're in that cage, you want to fight, you want to go. You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that was really early on in the fight, and then Mel settled down and got into her thing, because I've always seen her be more a defensive fighter, counter fighter,
Absolutely.
and more space and just more control, and not really the aggressor. And I thought that once she settled down after that first couple seconds, and Teresa had got off on her because she was catching her. Boom, when Mel was trying to come in,
Her first 45 seconds,
picking her apart.
The first round,
in that first round, and then Mel settled down and said, "All right, let me just."
Made the right
one bite
adjustments.
at a time.
Yeah, again, I mean, the way you made it sound, I thought they were just going to kind of be bouncing in front of each other, and Mel wasn't going to. Mel was going after it. And even when she was being aggressive, when she stopped being as aggressive, she still was accumulating points.
Correct.
Yes.
Right. Which was because when you first said that they're just going to kind of move around the real counter fighters, I was more impressed by the fact that she did do counter fighting. But when she had to take off, she was able to take off and get that aggressive offensive point too. I
think part of her counter was countering Teresa's movement. Like, so Teresa, like you were saying with Christian and Jarrell, Teresa was trying to get into position to score, to start throwing her techniques, and Mel was catching her. So she was countering her before she even got to throw it. And I think she was throwing some side kicks at that point. She was throwing like a keep her back, and it was throwing her off. She just did a very good job, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
So, all right, let's go ahead and bring on the king of New York, the creator of the Virtual Fight Tour. We're gonna bring on Mr. Jesse Ray. Let me move this banner out of here so you can see him.
J Ray,
what's up, brother?
What's up, man?
How you doing, man? How you feeling?
Oh man, feeling good. Rested up, you know.
Yeah.
Yo,
You spent all the Sunday just like sleeping and rewatching the broadcast or something?
I wish, man. I had to do airport runs. I had a whole bunch of yeah, man. Dropping Miss Daisy.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
But yo, y'all did a phenomenal job. I just want to give a lot of credit. You guys don't get enough credit on the job that you did broadcasting. I got a lot of compliments from people outside of the martial arts asking who you guys was. Low stepping in.
They don't know our name? They better know.
They know now.
We're recognized.
Los, you got definitely on the radar. People say, yo, you were breaking it down very, very well, and you were on point with it. People they didn't know you had that hidden talent.
Nah, it you know what, man? I
you just keep it real.
Yeah, I'm seriously. And the thing is, though, Jess, like, I love the game. Like, you know what I mean? I love the gamesmanship. I love the strategy. I love the thought. I love to see what's happening in the match, and then seeing what type of adjustments can be made, just like any coach would want to do, any person that would want to do, man. So I appreciate the opportunity. I know I was keeping Chris' seat warm. I hope I did a good job.
Yeah.
And Trav was helping lead me too, which was great.
I think moving forward, we gotta.
I was about to say this.
We gotta triple up. We got to triple up on that.
I was about to say, Los, are you willing to be a part of this whole time on Virtual Fight Tour?
Yeah, man.
We'll talk.
yeah. If Los wants to, then Los is in there, man. No doubt.
Yeah, listen, I don't know about these suits and these jackets, man.
No, hey, I'm gonna just send you a
tight.
Hey, brother, you look good though. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, clean suit on.
Los, I'm gonna send you a shirt, man. That's all.
There you go. You know what? Yeah, get him a
little polo shirt
on there. Like, yeah, there you go. Just speak.
Yeah, Chris held it down too, man.
Yeah,
because we about to get into that fight right now to break down that fight, because the next fight on the Virtual Fight Tour was Chris Walker versus Mario Ramirez. Chris, how did it feel being in the ring, competing again? When's the last time you competed in this style? Like, is it IBJF or is it
IBJJ?
IBJJ. Don't let Travis try to come up with all the different letters that go with this.
International Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Federation.
When the last time you grappled?
Who, me?
competitive grappling beginning
Never.
in 2019. I haven't done an IBJJF tournament all year. I was gonna do Masters Worlds, which happened to be Sunday this weekend. So when I had already talked to Jesse, there was unfortunately no way I'm gonna get down to Orlando and get down and be back. So I took this opportunity to use my jiu-jitsu skills here first, make sure that things are brushed and polished, and the next year I'll start the IBJJF circuit. They actually have like a NASCA circuit, but it's in the Federation of Jiu-Jitsu. So I'm gonna be a little bit more active in next
Chris,
year.
I'm gonna use my analytical skills here. I thought you controlled the match from beginning to the end. You were in the dominant position. You use your all right. Look,
You have no idea what you're
talk
talking
about
about.
this. I have no idea what to say about this. I'm quoting what Robin and Los were saying. That's it.
Oh, you just look at the points though.
Yeah, that was the other thing. You guys were counting points, and I looked
Yeah.
and saw that there was points being posted up there.
Yeah.
And so when I paid attention, I said, "Oh shoot, he up 12-0," and I was like, "Oh, okay, there's points here because Robin has mentioned it," and I was like,
Hold on.
All right,
Jeff,
Ross.
I should have worn my ego stuff today.
Yeah.
I should have worn my ego stuff today.
"What?"
Yo, look, we took the L yesterday, but I'm still repping.
Yeah, we took the L too.
Ross, we still on your heels. Calm down, calm down.
Wait, are the Cowboys in first?
Actually, no, the Cowboys ain't in first. Washington is in first.
Yeah.
Bye, Ross.
But
Wow.
at any rate, back to Chris's fight.
Yeah, back to Chris.
My bad,
Frank.
Trav. We
Yeah,
know where
Ross.
Detroit is. We know where
No.
Detroit is. We ain't even think about Detroit right now.
Who
Yeah,
thinks
exactly.
about Detroit? If you mentioned football, you better not think about Detroit.
Yo, but
Right.
Chris was if you look at the score, man, Chris was passing the guard, knee on belly, controlling, and he did his thing, man. Though everybody was shocked because I don't think no one ever seen you actually roll. Like that was the
Nah,
shock factor.
Yeah, Jack. I've rolled with Jack before, and him and I have trained in MMA and stuff. But other than that,
Other than that,
I don't
everybody
think
was
very
like,
many people have ever seen me do any of this.
yeah, man.
I love
And,
this stuff. It's
yeah,
like, learning again. You know what I mean? I'm a student again. I'm not the instructor at the dojo. It's a newfound love when you're we got to a very high level in what we do, and that's amazing in itself. And then switching over and changing gears, trying to find that relight and that fire. This jiu-jitsu stuff is crazy for me. I love it. I thank
Hey,
you for giving me that opportunity.
Chris is the race greats here, VFT. You set it off. Yeah, you're the first one. You set it off.
You were the first one. You were the first.
AC, baby. Let's see
Yeah.
where we go
Listen,
from here.
Chris, as
Chris got
I,
all his fingers taped up.
Yeah,
like,
he did. I saw that. He was looking like
Like-
Macho Man.
looking like Patrick
listen,
Ewing
you got-
back in
listen.
the days.
You get a hold of that gi and somebody yanks it and rips it out. I was telling Jess after the fight, I had dislocated my pinky like 2 weeks before. Just got caught and snapped out, sitting over here looking like whatever. Pop it back in, put some tape on it, and keep on rolling. But it's different. It's not like we don't got gloves to be able to throw something real quick and recoil. You're out holding on it, trying to control pant legs and collar grips and back of people's butts and stuff, and you gotta get that grip. It's a little bit of a different animal.
yeah, personally myself, I'm a no-gi guy because I don't want someone just to be able to grab me and just hold me there. So, but I was so impressed by you, man. I was really, really impressed. Like I obviously I know your pedigree. I know the effort you put in and the work you put into to become who you're going to become. But watching you get out there, man, just kind of like how Jesse said, controlling the whole fight. I know nothing about points, but I know the situations. I know what you're trying to get to. When you got that knee to belly,
Right.
man, I was like, oh, the dude can't do nothing. Like he did nothing to really stop you from getting there. And then I was like, all right, Chris is just getting himself in position just so he can get a full mount. Then you got full mount. Then he's trying to buck you. You're bracing yourself. I was like, yo, this is dope. And then I'm seeing you trying to get the neck and get the back of the gi and choke out that way. And then he bucks you and tries to roll you, and you get his arm, and you got him tapping. I said, yes.
Yeah, that was actually kind of cool. When you rolled, I was like, "Oh shoot, this is actually this is interesting right here." Like, oh,
Yo,
Yo,
that was
beautiful, bro.
It was very
beautiful.
exciting. My man was like one of my dude that was taking the pictures. That was his favorite event.
Yeah, that was my fight of the night.
That was his favorite event.
That was my fight, and not just because you won, but just it was a different element, man, and just watching how you did it. Like it was like I was really impressed, bro. Like I was really impressed, and it was again because that wasn't what you were looking for, right? That's not what you were looking for, but it presented itself, and you took the opportunity when it came to you, and you knew exactly what you had to do when you started rolling, started falling off, and going onto your back. You already knew what you had to do.
Yeah, I see Chris was like, I told Chris this too. He's like passive aggressive. So, you know, he get to his spots, he chill out for a minute, and then when he sees something, he explodes like on to the next.
Yeah.
And when he go, he's going.
And I would say, I know personally, like when you're doing grappling, like staying calm is probably one of the key things that you gotta be able to do, right? You can't be like going like this the whole time because not only is it gonna tire you out, but it's gonna put you in a bad spot too. So I told like just watching that, it was just like a masterful, just watching you do it. Like I'm not saying you're a master, but you know, in our world, that was pretty dope. Like you know what I mean? So just seeing you do that, man, and watching your calmness and waiting for the moment and getting to the moments and working on certain things, man, it was dope, yo. Congratulations.
And that's right. And it's fire because in the future is we're gonna go submissions only. Gene put that in the comments.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, because it's more exciting.
I think that was the main goal for me. Part of it was because I said it first. You know, I'm a submission. I like submissions. I like to hunt for them. That's my style. I'm not really a point chaser. I made a deal with my coach with Diego that I would do my best to get 10 points before I tried any submissions. And that's what I did. And like you said, Los, he had a really good coach. His coach was real smart. He was monitoring and speaking to his man the right way. But unfortunately, with that in a small setting, I could hear what he was saying. So I could feel what he was trying to go for. Hook the leg, bump and sweep, hook the leg, roll, tuck and roll. So I could hear him rolling. So when I was trying to grab that collar grip, I knew he was going to roll. But every way he rolled, you got to extend one arm. You know what I mean? So as soon as he bumped and extended, I was like, "Oh, I know the thing."
I'll take that. I'll take that.
It's not what I wanted. I wanted to choke. I mean, obviously, I came out.
That's why I'm about to go for this because you guys are saying that it's going to be in the future. It's only going to be submission. Now, if I'm correct, that means you guys are doing away with the point system. So that means the match won't end unless somebody submits or is choked out.
Well, depending on the rule sets that I think we might have to talk about and develop, they do like an EBI system where gi or no gi is submission only. It's whatever time limit you decide to set. 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 10 minutes, submission only. At the end of regulation time, you get put in two positions, either the spider web, which is the arm bar from the mount where one guy has the top and he's getting ready to pull the arm, or they have the back in a modified rear naked, and the ref says go. And you have a time limit to either get out or finish the submission. If you finish the submission, the match is over. After that's decided by a coin toss. But if you don't finish the submission, your opponent gets to get in that. He gets to pick one of those two positions, and then they try to figure it out. And you get two chances to finish each other, or it's considered a draw. Really.
Look at Chris helping out the rules committee. I love it.
I was curious because when you said submission only, I'm like, that can go a long time, like 30 minutes of people trying to.
Most even in professional black belt, it's 10-minute. The most you're gonna go is a 10-minute sub only.
If you're going for a submission, it's more exciting. You taking more chances. You spinning around. You doing what you got to do. If you going for points, then dudes could like start hugging on legs and killing time. And then for the naked eye that doesn't follow jiu-jitsu, like my friend, the cameraman,
right?
It won't be exciting. So,
all right, we got some comments here real quick. I want to get into the comments real quick. Let me go all the way back up. Mike Pombero says, "I think I rode with you."
Yes, we have.
At Bob's. Mike Conroy says, "Great job." Point Fight Alive. I'm assuming that's Alex. Great job last weekend. Mike Conroy said, "Commenting was great. Thank you."
Thank you, Mike.
John said, "Glad it ended in submission. The untrained casual fan doesn't understand the points. Plus, it could get boring." And we mentioned it already. Submission only in VFT. Mama Walker said, "The mental game of jiu-jitsu is awesome to watch."
How you doing, Gail?
Mike Pombero said, "You called it last week." Garth Ben says, "Chris demonstrated that he is a martial artist and not just a sport karate practitioner."
Facts.
That was real cool
Mama
to talk
Walker.
to hang out with Garth, man. I appreciate that, Garth.
Okay, Mama Walker agreed with Garth there.
Surprise, surprise.
So,
Said,
All right, I think John. Okay, yeah, he's thinking. All right, there we go. All right.
you know.
yeah.
So, all right, now let's move on to Jason Borelli
Co-main.
versus Yaskar.
Whoo.
That was a fight.
Whoa.
That was a fight.
Gentlemen, I'm disappointed.
Whoa.
We didn't get the most points. in the-
I knew he was gonna say that. I knew that was gonna be.
let me say something real quick. Tony told me he was telling Christian, yo, chill, relax, stop going in. And Christian was like, I'm trying to catch the record. But Tony told him to chill. He was chasing a record. I was like, oh.
He almost
Tony
he had
didn't know what the
23.
record was.
He had 23, so I guess he said no. Jason think he gonna get it. Nah, I'm gonna get it, and I'm
Yo.
the more and more I see Christian, the more and more I like Christian. I'm sorry.
It's like, no,
That's a good
He
dude.
had the hat on. It with his
He had
own
the hat
logo.
on.
I was
Right.
like, Chris is my man. I like Christian.
Thank you,
That
Gail.
was a dope logo, though.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It
No,
was.
dope.
I was like, oh shoot! All right, get his paraphernalia and everything going. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty dope. All right, back to Jason versus Yaskar. Thoughts on the Jason versus Yaskar match? Just a match, not the thing that
Jason
happened
looked good.
afterwards. We'll get to that later.
Well,
Jason looked good. Jason looked
Yaskar is you gotta be Yaskar is gonna push it in the third quarter. Every fight. Yaskar is coming in that if you can't do 3 rounds, I don't think you should step in there with Yaskar. Because the third round, he's definitely coming.
Yes, thank
Yeah.
you, Ben.
Thanks, Ben. Appreciate it.
100%. Like, I think people. I don't know. It's interesting to me about Yaskar because one of the things I notice about Yaskar is that he hits, right?
Ooh.
And it's just before watching him and everything. I just noticed he was hitting, he was throwing punches. I'm like, yo, Yaskar hits. When the first fight with Yaskar and Java came up in our little camp, people were talking about him kicking, about how much he kicks, and I was just like, I never really paid attention to how well he kicks, or that wasn't my main focus from Yaskar. Mine was always his punching ability, right? And in the post game, the post fight, he mentioned about his kicks, about how he's not going to try and kick with Jason. He's like, da. But then when he fought Java, he wasn't throwing a whole bunch of kicks. He was sticking and he was scoring off blitzes and punches and things like that. So for me, like, I don't want like a lot of people to sit back and look at the Yaskar as like he's, they start talking about how good of a kicker. I'm like, he's a fighter. He's going to hit you with whatever he needs to hit you with, and he can throw
Absolutely.
with all his limbs.
The man did a front kick.
Listen, he has
back
more
leg.
front kick scoring. He has more front kick scoring than anybody in sport karate. Bro,
More
there
than
were
Marty-
like
more than-
6 minutes in a row he hit people with front.
More than Marty Eubanks?
Listen, I ain't see a front kick in sport.
maybe
karate.
not
Last time I
more
seen a
than
front kick was at a traditional AAU tournament. That was the last time I ain't. And listen, I ain't never been back.
He did throw that front.
'Cause you know what? I did a
back
front
leg
kick.
front kick
I
too.
tried a front kick. I kicked
Oh.
somebody in the elbow and had a big old bruise on the bottom of the ball of my foot. I said I would never do a front kick in sport karate again. And it was AAU. That's the only time I seen it. And the dude tried it twice. I'm thinking to myself, like, did he just do a front kick? But go ahead, Trap. My bad. I ain't mean
He must don't know Akin.
And we got we going back in the time machine. They threw Akin out there. They throwing Marty Eubanks out here. I mean, hey, it said love the back leg front kicks. Old school still works. It was interesting, man. But the other thing that I found was very interesting is that Jason didn't use his legs like I thought he was going to do. But what I was more impressed about with Jason was he wasn't switching feet to throw the left up to the road, the reverse punch blitz. When he started out, he was throwing the left hand reverse punch blitz. And I was like, oh, Jason just threw a left hand reverse punch blitz. He didn't switch feet to throw the blitz. He just threw it straight off. And I'm like, if he developed that when he was younger and just throwing that kick and then the left hand reverse punch blitz, everybody in their mama would have been in even more trouble. So I was looking at that like, oh shoot, he done came out with something different. All right. So I was just watching the fight and but I did think Jason should have kicked a little bit more to keep Yaskar bat. I mean, because I saw him kick, and he would throw kicks, but I thought there were certain times where I thought like, all right, now this is where Jason needs to come over the shoulder and attack Yaskar's blind side, but I didn't see him do it that much. But
I believe he did hit him with an axe kick or his.
He did. He did at the end of the like, I think it was like the middle of the second or end of the second. Yeah, and I was like, yeah, there's Jason.
I
Right
said,
there.
oh, there it is.
And I thought that was going to like that's it. He's going to start running off points, but he just didn't repeat it. And I think part of it was he got a little gas on there in that fight, which we always talked about.
So
fights.
Jason gave up a couple points, like turning his back, and Yaskar just
two back to back twice.
And Yaskar threw some heat on that. I don't know how Jason was still standing.
That second time when he ran him through, he threw 1, 2, 3. He turned his back and hit him with that hook. Woo.
I said Jason got a chin and a jaw.
No, Jason's been hit before. I'm like, yeah, he's hit and he hit.
Yaskar put something on that, man.
Yeah, so
and he stood, got right back to the line and went right back at him. But he gave up 2 points on that, that walking back to the line, and the judge is moving quick.
Yeah,
so
but
that's something to go back and look at for him.
Yeah, but that was one thing that troubled me a little bit was he didn't even get back to the line before they said start. And it was like Jason was still walking back. Like if he had got back to the line and he just said, as soon as he got back to the line and said start, he was like right in front of him. And I was like, oh, that's
that definitely
that was too fast.
It was too fast. If there's one thing I would say to make sure that before they say go, is that Akin should be able to at least be able to put his hands on the front hand or something, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
As opposed to just coming back, and now Jason maybe not. Jason's just turning that corner of Akin, and Akin saying go because Yaskar's already there, right?
But that's the thing. Yaskar wasn't really there sometimes. He was still walking back.
I ain't gonna lie, man.
And Yaskar would be in the position because Jason's walking back. Yaskar's walking back too, but he's walking forward this way. And so when he says
walking further too, that's another.
Yeah. So it's like, but see that one of the things I always, when I would judge, one of the things I would always do was push a fighter. If I wanted to go, I'm like, all right, ready,
I
get back
touch
over here.
both
Like
guys or get between the two of them.
Go, and if you're not on that side, that's your fault. But I'm pushing you back to that side. Go, and then just because if I notice that person is like lollygagging and they trying to take their time to get back to the line, nah, fam, get back on that side.
My instructor told me never turn your back. Like
that is correct.
Yeah.
That is correct. Or after the first time, you should know.
Right. You might make one mistake, but the second time you got to get back around. I'm with you on that, Trev.
I mean, the second time
is once. Walk back like not twice.
Like or rush or hustle back to the line, but. It is what it is, but
the lollygag rule.
The lollygag rule, right? But yeah, once you get hit with it once, that the first time was like, all right, well, I got to get that point back or whatever. But at the second time, I can't let that happen anymore. And anybody else watching can't let that happen anymore. But all right.
Garth had some facts right there. Garth said fatigue makes a fighter punch more and kick less. That's absolutely what happened.
That is 100% correct.
So now
rematch in the future. At this point, there is no point. If I'm Yaskar, I do not take another fight with Jason or Java right away. I'm like, yo, y'all got to fight each other. I'm king. Y'all got to come back up to me. Like if that's what it is. If I'm Yaskar, I'm like, no. Y'all haven't.
He said, "I'm diamond, baby. I'm diamond, baby."
Exactly. The first
diamond, baby.
Exactly. Like no. You gotta have to.
Just said, "Mum's the word, baby."
But if I'm Yaskar, I am now king of the 30+ division. Yeah. You gonna have to come and see me. Y'all gonna have to earn it. I'm Floyd Mayweather out here. Y'all better fight it down there and figure out something. And then one of y'all maybe come back.
He fought the best of the best, man.
All right, we got to get it.
Did.
I
knew that was gonna happen.
Oh, go ahead, Los. I thought you went.
You knew what was going to happen.
Yeah. So my thought is, I thought Jason fought a lot better this past weekend than he did the week before. I thought
two different styles though, too.
Two different styles. Yeah. So I thought that he came out exactly how I was anticipating for him to come out, right? And I felt he did do a great job. I think he was up by a little bit within the first one or two rounds, right?
Yeah.
And as you can see, I think they both started getting a little tired in that third round.
Yeah,
So
because they went flat-footed.
They both did, yeah. So I think
they sure did. They both sat there in front of each other.
But that's where I think Jason ran the problem at, because when Jason got flat-footed, he had no movement. Yaskar is just his length when he starts to come forward is going to give him more of an opportunity to score, right? So when Jason's just kind of sitting and he doesn't have a counter ready or anything, and Yaskar has the opportunity to just go, like that's what kind of happened. I think that's what changed the fight. Like that last minute and a half or so of the third round. They both were tired, but Yaskar was the one that was going.
They got in that traditional Shotokan horse stands, and Yaskar came over the top with the back fist. Boom.
Back fist.
Pow. Yeah. So that length, everything you just said, Los, facts.
Well, all right. But here's the other thing. As a fighter, what is Jason's counter technique?
Second. Sometimes.
That's what I'm saying. Like Jason doesn't have
when he's on the left side.
Clean.
So I would like to, in that situation, I would like to see Jason just leave that line. Like
exactly.
Like just bounce a little bit and just move out of the way. Like don't get caught in that cat and mouse back and forth.
Straight line.
You know what I mean? Just move a little bit. Like you mean
that
would have killed some time. That would have made Yaskar have to kind of adjust a little better or adjust more. You know what I mean? And that would have killed. Like I don't want to say playing time, but he should just not have stayed there. Like I think that was a downfall of him not winning that match. Him just sitting there.
You got to get off, getting off the line. But after 3 rounds, baby, you feel like you got on ankle weights.
Yeah, I bet.
Exactly.
And then listen, you can't go nowhere in that cage. So he's squatting, and he only got like a 1 foot between him and the cage too. So it's like you can't go nowhere, bro. Like
so
you try to throw that side kick, you're still running into something. It's like that wall,
yeah.
Now, do y'all think that the cage has a psychological effect because we didn't see all the falling and running and all of those injury stuff that we probably seen, and
I 100%.
You don't have access to your coaches.
When you tell the fighters that you have to hit, the fight changes. Like if you think about super fights, they didn't look the same. But they were throwing the same techniques, but they were throwing a hit. That the fight was different. The fighter will adjust. If the organizations tell what the rules are and say enforce these rules, hey fam, because there was a few times people were blitzing and falling. And they were like, no, he fell down. He can't get the point. And it was like, oh, all right. And they were trying to make sure they stayed up. And sometimes the people fail, but other than that,
I just think that sometimes, like, if you have access to go out the ring and limp it out, walk it out, talk to your coach, you okay? You know what I'm saying? Like, you'll play with it.
Yeah, but when you're in that cage, I 100% think that has a psychological effect on the fighters, and they come out fighting. I think it had, like I said before, I think it happened with Mel. I think Mel came out at the beginning of that fight and was aggressive, like she was just going at it. And then when she was getting scored on, she settled and got to her bag and started working.
Yeah. Teresa came out looking real good on that too.
Right. To me, Teresa's also like a more of a calm, strategic fighter, but she came out firing at the beginning of that fight.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's the same thing. I think that once you're in that ring, you're going.
Right. I think Hope. I didn't get to speak on that. I think Hope. I think that ridge hand
Carter.
I think that ridge hand hit her, and
It was a couple shots that she caught.
Yeah,
there was more than just that one, but that ridge hand was the biggest.
I thought that Hope stayed in there.
Brianna's a banger. So that might have some little hesitation.
That's exactly what we said, Jess, was that, like Hope did it not fight, but she was still hesitant. Like she was uncertain in moments, right? That she should have kind of gone.
Because Tony was telling her, but if she would have took some more chances, who knows? But
that's what I'm saying. Like I thought that she had the speed advantage, and when she would go and blitz, she would score. She may catch one, but she was scoring.
But there's some fighters that if you going on them, they're gonna let you hold something. So you might think about
no, that's what I'm saying. Like you got
that, but you're gonna take this back with you. You got that, but you're gonna take this back.
You get one, but you're gonna eat a 2-piece and a biscuit. Yes.
Everybody. Okay, wait. Hold on. Everybody on this panel on this call right now, when you stepped in from the juniors to the adults, you were faster, you were scoring, and they were hitting you late. They were gonna make you keep getting hit late, and you was gonna take those shots. But as a 17-year-old, you're just gonna like, look, I'm gonna keep going at you. But if you got heart, some people don't. But but you end up going. It's almost like you're getting tested by fire. You know it. You gonna get when you step in that ring and you 17, 18, and you go into adult division, and you can be better than them. You can be. They gonna like yo, but
like I ain't letting you get a reputation of me.
Exactly. You may score, but I'm gonna win this fight. And you go take these lumps.
Yeah, that's what Gene tried to do to me when I went to men's. Yeah, Gene, calling you out.
Everybody did that to me.
Jerry Roberts used to try to kill me, man.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, Jerry Roberts, boy. Jerry Roberts used to try to take my head off of that damn ridge hand, man. I'd be like, God, yo, would you stop that?
Yep, I had Larry taking my head off. I mean, it just ran like there's a whole bunch of people. Yeah. Danny Dixon. There was so many people that were trying to take your head off back.
I fought EJ Greer at 16, but that was not a fun experience.
Exactly.
That ridge. You talking about that ridge hand?
That's part of it. You're gonna take the lump. So that's what I'm saying. Like
you two golf bands, you ain't off the hook.
Yeah. Nah.
Try to let me hold something.
That's part of the rite of passage. You're gonna step in here, you're gonna take some lumps. That's why I'm like, she should have been at this point. You got to be ready for that. You just got to be used to it at that point. Some people are gonna try and take you out your game. Used to happen all the time in Chicago, but they trying
you everything.
They're growing shots, late shots, like pushing you, taunting you in your face. The people around. I mean, it just is what it is. They trying everything to get you out of that fight. But all right, now we're gonna get to the call out right now before we get to the main event.
Are we gonna get to the call out first?
We got call out first. Hey, listen, real quick. I do recall Alex saying if Yaskar won, he'd wear a T-shirt that says "I love Yaskar." I want to know if he's still gonna do that. That's all I'm saying. I just want to know. He said if Yaskar won this second fight, he will wear a shirt that says "I love Yaskar." Tony reminded me of that this weekend when we were talking. He was like, "Hey, tell him I wanted to see that shirt."
Ooh.
Wow. I love Tony because Tony's wild too.
Yeah, Alex has. I hope Alex wears a shirt that says "I love Yaskar" and it says "I'm not going to take this fight" or whatever it may be, or he says "I'm going to take that fight." Either way, it just seems funny to me that he have to respond to this.
Hey, I mean, hey, Alex. Go ahead, y'all. Set it off.
Look, man, look. So in the post conference, the post interview, we asked just regular questions, but sometimes people feel they have to get stuff off the chest because people have said things that they feel.
That was some respect on it.
Yes. So this is the second person who has called out Alex after winning, which is interesting to me.
Who called him out before?
Bailey.
Bailey told him
my name. He said Alex and Jeff, y'all gonna put some respect on my
name. Okay.
Like, I mean,
yeah, nobody called him out for a match though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Challenge.
Yeah, no, he ain't gonna call him about that. But Yaskar called him out. What did y'all think? Well, I was laughing. I'm sorry, I was laughing when that happened. It was hilarious to me. But what did y'all think once it happened? Matter of fact, did y'all know he did it? Because you two were in the building. Did somebody have to come and tell y'all that he just called out?
Yeah, somebody nudged me like, yo, he just called Golf. Golf was like, yo, Yaskar just called out Dickman. I was like, when? He's like, right there, just online.
Like, I was standing right there.
I went over there and I just jumped on camera.
Yeah.
That is hilarious.
What you gonna do, Alex?
What you gonna do?
Exactly. What you gonna do, Alex? Chris, how did you find it? Were you standing there listening, or where were you at?
Oh, I was standing there listening when he said it, but we rode back and forth in the shuttle together. We hung out. We rode together. We went and ate Chipotle. I knew Yaskar felt some type of way.
Yeah, now he said that in the van together, right?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, he already said that to me. Because Tony asked me about it.
That, but we just let that go or whatever.
We just let it slide. Yeah, I didn't know. Yeah. I had a feeling if he won, he'd say something.
Man, he trying to knock Alex head off.
Oh my God! Listen, he said The thing that bothered him the most was when Alex said there was no way he could see Yaskar beating either Java or Jason. Like, just kind of put him like, bro, there's no way you're that good. No way can you beat them. You don't even have a shot.
Yeah, no.
Alex said I see no way. I see no way.
Yeah.
No, Alex said, I see no way that Yaskar can beat either one of them. That was his quote. So like, when you tell a fighter there's no way you can beat somebody, and then I just beat both of them dudes, now you need to step up and tell me something. Like, you need to show me what you're analyzing. So I need to see if you're as good as you talk on. You know what I mean? That was Yaskar and Tony's kind of deal.
Y'all gotta hear Yaskar's story a little bit. Maybe get him on the show.
Oh my God.
Somebody translate. Yo, this dude was in a crazy, fell off a ladder. He's doing construction, broke mad ribs. The ribs sliced his liver in half. Like, yeah, man, this dude been through it, and then got in a car accident after that. Wow. And was fighting, I think, a year later, or less than a year later. That dude is a warrior, man.
Yeah,
right?
Put some respect on Yaskar's name. All right. Alex said I said what I said.
Uh-oh.
So, I mean, look.
Well, I guess you saw two ways that they could beat because you watched it.
Hey, look, if that fight comes up, I'm going to be sitting here.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't even understand it at first. I was like, why are you calling out Alex? Like, what happened that he wanted to fight? I mean, it was funny, but I didn't understand it. And then kind of in our little group chat, going back.
Yeah, I sent some screenshots and stuff like, yo, this is.
Yeah, I guess so.
But yeah,
I don't.
Alex, we got to do it for the culture, baby.
Yeah,
we got to do it for the culture.
So it was
for the culture.
We got to do it for the culture.
That call out was interesting to me just for the simple fact that it happened, and I was just like, "Hey, look, you say things."
Wait, what?
I look. All right, go ahead. I got nothing to say. I'm like, all right, just okay. I can understand why this is happening, but I didn't think it was gonna happen. But I was like, yeah. But when you put us, like I tell people, we had this running joke that he is our Skip Bayless.
Yeah,
you
don't see LeBron James asking Skip Bayless to go play basketball with him.
Alex is a fighter.
Skip Bayless was never a basketball player.
That's like, nah, Los, don't do that, Los.
Alex fought last year at Diamonds. Alex fought Jason last year at Diamonds to over overtime. So like, that's not too far out of the realm of possibility.
Everybody on here,
hey, Alex, you should fight, and then he fought.
Everybody on here, including myself, probably fought Alex before.
I never fought Alex before.
I did. Chris?
I did. I fought a couple times.
I mean, Trav?
I have.
See?
So, I mean, I'm just saying, like, it's not.
He's a fighter.
He fought last year, and he wasn't prepared, and he fought, and he almost won that division over Jason.
Yeah, he went to overtime with Jason.
Yeah, he went to overtime. So, if he jumps out there,
let's go, Alex.
You know, hey, if I'm not mistaken, isn't Ben, who hadn't fought in a few years, is about to pop out there and fight?
Right.
That's right.
If Big Ben could do it,
if Ben can jump out there, hey, we'll see. We'll see tomorrow. They're gonna be they're doing a special edition of Inside Scoop. It'll be on tomorrow. They got a guest, so he will address that tomorrow. So we'll see.
Oh, tomorrow.
Check it out.
Yes, tomorrow. It's tomorrow.
Tomorrow, baby. He's they got early just for this.
Hey, Alex, bring me on tomorrow, man. Jeff, Alex, bring me on tomorrow.
All right, so let's get to the main event, the team fight, Team All-Stars versus Top 10 USA. First things first, what the heck happened with the flip? Because it seemed like there was some confusion on this flip about what happened. So what happened with this flip?
Even when we explain it to you guys, it sounds complicated when you're trying to explain it. Basically, it was a Java misunderstood the staying up part. He thought that they only were controlling the stay up of the first round, not knowing that they controlled the stay up of every round from that point on. So
see, I didn't realize it either.
Yeah.
So wait. So when you control the stay up, you control the stay up. You only get to tell who stays up once, though, right?
You
Twice,
can say,
twice back to
no.
back, and that means you determine the last fight.
No.
all right. So Kev, let's just say Kev comes out. Kev sends himself out, and Troy sends out Tyreek, right? So Kev control Tyreek, they send out Tyreek, Kev comes out, right? So
Right.
then after that match, you want to be like, okay, who do we want to stay up? Them or us? All right. I'm feeling good. I'm gonna stay up. Kev stays up, then Troy comes up. All right. At this point, of course,
Why don't you go back to how it played out? Because it was Tyreek that pointed out first, right? Tyreek stayed up
Tyreek
twice.
and Dak. We said Tyreek stays. Yeah.
Okay, so you guys had the ability to say who says, or was it Java? That's what I'm confused.
They chose the first fight. So they chose
They-
the first fight.
they
They sent
chose-
Tyreek first. And they wanted Tyreek and Jack first fight. So they picked the very first fight.
But I
He-
thought
both
Java
fighters.
controlled the whole thing.
No, I
Java-
controlled the whole thing. We did.
Java, since Chris and pick, they want to control who stays up every match. Java was able to control which man he's sending out. So they sent out Tyreek first, right?
Yep.
Chris?
Okay, wait. So who won the toss?
Chris.
They won the toss. No.
Right.
I lost the toss. Java won the toss. The Java chose to send out first.
Right.
It was our understanding
Oh.
that he sent. Yeah, it was my understanding that he sent Ty and called out
Right.
Kevin. So that's why Jack. They wanted Jack first. So they said Ty and Jack. So that's why Jack went. My game plan was to send Kevin first against Ty. But so I just assumed, he gets to pick the first fight. There's 4 fighters. He said, they sent Troy first, pulled Troy out, and said, now we want Ty and we want Jack. So that's how that first match went. So then that left me to choose who stayed up and control the next 2 matches, which
At
essentially
that point, he could
was all
see
3
if
matches.
Tyreek stayed up or if Jack stayed up. That was his control.
Who controlled that? Chris
Yeah,
or
Chris.
Java?
Chris.
All right. So
Me.
how about okay? So it sounds like the confusion to me, honestly, the confusion is who sends out first, because Tyreek and them sent out first. By the Tyreek and them sending out first, that negated their stay up at that point. Because at that point,
Once you send out, there's 2 sides. There's a person that's sending out and a
Right.
person that's staying up.
but
So
they
if
want
you are on the send out side, there's no way you could control who stays up any match.
right. So I'm saying is,
Right.
if they want to toss, then they shouldn't be the ones who are sending out first. But they did send out first.
It's up to
They
them.
called it. That's what they wanted.
Up to them.
It was up to
That's
them. You could either
That's
call
where, to me, that means that they no longer have a stay up because they actually technically used it.
Right.
The confusion is, if I flip it and I get this call to stay up, that means All Stars were the ones who should have sent out first and they didn't. All top 10 sent out first, and it kind of got everything kind of got out of whack because they weren't supposed to technically send out.
I would. So, but if you pick the send out first, who knows? That could be a strategy for you.
I mean, yeah, it could.
For me, I'm going out with the I could be like, yo, I want to send out first because I may have a little injury and I need you to go out there and rack up and let me just hold it. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the strategy is, or whatever. But your best bet for me, for my vision, is to control the stay up.
I think most people would agree with that. Garth says we would clarify the rules.
Well, we're gonna make a video for y'all.
It's something because I think that there was confusion on who controlled what, and that's threw some things off. But all right, so let's get past all that confusion because my head hurts. All right, so let's get to Team All Stars, the actual fight. What did you guys think of the actual fight?
I thought the fight was great. That was really good. Thought it was intense.
It was exciting.
I thought it was everything that I thought it was gonna be besides the All Stars winning. How about that?
Yeah.
That's only because I'm picking with my family. I'm always gonna pick with my family. I don't respect nobody else. Pick with my family, but ultimately, like, it was everything that I kind of expected to be as far as how it all played out and everything. Besides the All Stars winning, I thought Tyreek fought great. I thought Troy fought great. Obviously, I thought Jack fought great. I thought Kevin actually fought really well as well. So as a whole, I thought the fight was really good between both teams.
So I'll go next. My impression was I was very impressed with the growth of Tyreek in that 2 month span or 3 month span or whatever it was. I was really impressed with his growth over the last couple of months. You can tell he's been working, because that fight with him and Jack, I was just looking like, oh shoot, he's getting off right now. He's going off right now. Let me see if I can look at the
yes,
right.
and that's where it lies in the 1 round fight.
Right.
Say that again.
You know what I mean? Because it was a 1 round, 2 people, 1 round. It wasn't 3 rounds to make those adjustments. I thought Ty came real explosive right out of the gate to try to
It looked like he was a 5-1 on Jack at some point. Jack came back and ended the round with Top 10 USA ahead of 10-8. So Tyreek won the round 10-8.
Tyreek fought really good, man.
Tyreek looked good.
That dude has always been fast to me, like just like lightning fast. And I believe I made a comment in the thing. I said he seems long. When I mean by long, like he seems like his arms are longer. He just seems like he's gotten a little taller.
As soon as you said that, he scored.
But here's the thing, though. Jess.
Yeah.
When I say he's long, right, it has nothing to do with him having just long arms. It's that now his reach, if he understands how to use his reach, his timing, the speed that he has, it's a whole different type of person coming at you now.
Yeah.
You know, I was impressed. I thought he fought really well. And compared to, because I thought he was going to fight Bailey better than when he fought Bailey the first time. Right? Because I seen him fight already before a few times, and I always thought he was like he was that dude, like that little young dude.
Yeah. So Tyreek looked good. I think Jack had that first time fighting him, so he had to make some adjustments and then do what he did.
Yeah, they had never fought before. Yeah.
Kept it close because it's team, so you know you got another shot at it. And I think Troy fought pretty well. I think he neutralized who was he fighting? He fought Jack first, right?
Yeah.
I thought Troy fought pretty well.
He fought Jack first.
He gave up some buckets, but he stayed up and hung in there with Kev.
The Troy and Jack.
I thought he fought Jack really well. I thought he fought Jack very competitively.
Yeah, he fought competitive, and I think that fighting Kev, you know, he got one momentum swing, and then the rest was history. So overall, man, I think as well. I know Kev has some words to say, but I'd say, your guys were up 6. Coach Chris, you know I love you. Carlos, I know you all stars all day, but you guys are up 6. 6 points. 6 points is 6 points. You gave up a 2-point kick. You still got 4 points. That goes back to what y'all was saying about the momentum, about going forward. You gotta adjust. We can't. I'm not gonna let nobody play the judges. The judges have been doing a solid job from the beginning. They have no horses in the race. Just a few comments Kev made. I didn't know at the time, but I went back and watched it, and he was like New York. And come on, guys, let's not do that, man. This has been the most non-political league ever. So we're not gonna start now, man. You got to make adjustments. Period. You know, get off the line, shake it up, hit them late. I mean, whatever you got to do, you know, you can't leave it in the judge's hands. And all you guys know that. You cannot leave it in the judge's hands.
That is correct.
I did not like that comment, but emotions, you know, I still love you, Kev.
Yeah, the emotions are high, like you mean, and like again, I think the same thing we talked about before is like momentum is like, how do I change this momentum? Even with me trying to change momentum, it doesn't feel like it's going into, like you lost by 1 point, like, you know what I mean? So even though you gave up how many points, you still lost by 1. So there was something that probably could have been done a little differently within what your strategy was trying to come back or trying to change could have happened. But we all know, man, you can't leave anything in the judge's hands no matter what.
Hey, Los, I done fought in countries where the whole damn country was rooting against me, and I had to get 3 points just to get 1. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Yep.
And it's like right back to it.
100%.
Right back to it. Don't give up on it.
With our back against the
right
wall.
back to it. So, you know, I just I ain't about that life. I'm making excuses and things of that nature. You just gotta take it on the chest and get right back to it, man.
Yeah, I think he
Yeah,
kind of walked
go
those
ahead.
conversations back today. I saw some things, so I think he kind of walked that statement back a little bit. So
Yeah,
you know,
I honestly, Jess, I wouldn't even take it. I wouldn't even take that personal at all, bro.
No, I'm not taking it. I know
I
Kev.
don't even want to say personal. I'm just saying, like, he said it. It was in the heat of the moment, but
yeah.
we all know Kev, man. Like, I don't feel like that's how he really feel. Like, you mean, because y'all got too much history together. Like, you mean, you got too much
Of
history
course,
together.
that's family.
So,
Kev come up. He was at my mom's house, right?
yeah,
Chris?
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
y'all got
So
too much
Yeah.
history
Kev is
together,
But just,
That's right. It was
I
our
just-
moms.
again, I'm just saying. When I seen it, I was like, "Oh, come on, Kev."
Got you.
But I know it's all love. And then, also I was like, "Damn, we got some photos," and I see Jack in the ring by himself. So I'm like, man. But I went back and I watched it, and I think that Kev was like bowed out, and then Kev was like walking out. At first, I was like, "Damn, Kev left Jack in there standing."
Yeah,
You
that's
see,
what happened. Now we talked about that a little bit in the pre-show.
I watched and I said maybe Kev was just walking out.
Yeah.
Benefit of the doubt on
I
that.
was confused. I was confused on a thing too because I didn't see Kevin. Like, why is Kev not up there with Jack? Like, you mean like
yeah,
win, lose, or draw? Like, you mean like we ride
Right.
together? Like, you mean like this whole
Yeah, well, what happened was with
Go ahead, Chris. I'm sorry. You can tell us. Go ahead.
Oh no. From where I was at, because I went in the ring too, and then they did the call out. They said top 10 will win. We bowed, and then we all started to kind of leave the ring. Kev had left right before me, and I was walking right out. And as I was in the ring, I heard, "Hey, we got to do the hand raise." So, and then everybody back, and I guess Kev was already out of the ring and didn't come back up into the ring to get those last final shots. But yeah, that was just it. I didn't think it was anything other than, oh, hey, I thought we were done, because I was already starting to walk the ring too. And then I heard, hey, no, we got to do the thing. And then I turned back around and I saw they raised the hand and Jack was standing there by himself, and then we all just left to go to the interview. So I don't think it was anything other than just a miscommunication on that situation.
I love Jack though. Jack was in the interview with the poker face like this.
yeah. That's why they call him the Iceman. For a reason.
Jack, Captain Jack, man. Shout out, Kev. Love y'all all, man.
You know Jack.
Yeah.
All right.
Now, as a whole, for myself, I mean, I just want to give my views. I know we're probably getting to this right now, bro. I'm really proud of you, man. I was honored to be able to commentate that in the first time, doing it kind of on the live stream and stuff. I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to kind of get out there and do it. Chris, it was great holding your seat, but it was more exciting watching you compete and do your thing. And Trav, again, thank you for setting me up, man. You just set me up and let me just rock, and I appreciate you giving me that space to do that. So shout out to you, Jess. Good show. Really good. I was very, very pleased.
Thank you. And Travis again. Travis like does more than people know, man. Travis
I gotta
orchestrate.
Oh man, Travis does a lot of stuff, man. That's the director for real. That's the director for real.
Without Travis, man.
Hey, look, man, I just want this sport to grow in all facets. Like whether or not I am known as the person. Y'all seen the Netflix it's like The Godfather. And he's behind the scene whenever
Godfather music,
like Godfather or something like that. Yeah, and it's a Netflix series or show or whatever, or documentary, and they talk about this guy who's influential in every black person who has ever been in Hollywood. Like you talk to it and say, "Oh, go talk to this particular person." If I'm that dude behind the scenes, nobody knows, and then 20, 30 years ago, and people like, "Oh, no, you gotta go talk to Travis because he didn't plug this person, he didn't help grow the sport." That's all I give a damn about. Like, I don't need to be the person out in front talking about, "Hey, we changing this." No. I just want, as long as the sport grows,
you're good at it, man.
I'm good.
Digman said you the super producer,
bro.
I agree, man. But yo, shout out to of course Jean Claude, main man. We kicking a lot about VFT, Golf Benz, another one. Mahogany, she was on the boards and
she was getting busy.
Hopping, man. Oh god.
Mahogany's always on the boards, killing it. Learning new programs, like she was doing that thing.
Struggle behind the scenes.
She was hustling, working hard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
bro.
I
Listen, all the behind the scenes and the production stuff.
Hey, look,
Stepped up on the
understand,
game with that too.
we are the Martial Arts in the Network, and we don't shy away from any topic. And there's a topic. There's something that's been going around on the internet, and I just want to address it real quick. All right, about Virtual Fight Tour. Hey Jacob, I did see your interview with Kevin. Good job. All right. The only major problem I had with VFT was the production. Other than that, I loved it. Right. Yep. So the thought, the process that people have been talking about, the knock on VFT is the production, right? Being using Zoom and the quality and all this other stuff, right?
Yep.
Here's the major fundamental difference is money. And one of the things, you know what I mean? Like, in order to put on the same level of Pro Point, like Pro Point does an exceptional job with their production, right? They are spending I know they're spending some money on that because I know how much it costs to put on a professional production and how much it costs, right? Yes, so there is a difference in money, right? So if there is a difference in money, one of the things that we as a sport has to happen, if we support somebody or we're supporting something, the more money that comes into it, the more money they can turn around and pour back into it. Now, being behind the scenes, I saw some extra stuff that you guys were doing this time that was different than you did the first time we actually did it. And it was more money that was being spent on the production level and some of the things that you guys put into it. Like this time you guys had, like, nobody's talked about it, but the scores were actually on the screen.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Like there's something that you
Facts.
have to buy
live
at the bottom.
Scoring.
You know what I mean? Like you're seeing the scores. Like there's certain things that you inch by inch. You know what I mean? It's not where we are today. It's where we're going. And I think a lot of people always want things to come out perfect right away, but it does nothing ever. You don't start off being a black belt. You start off being a white belt. Then you go to gold, and you go. If you depending on your system, you go to orange or purple. You just keep getting better around the way. But the more money you spend at that karate school, guess what? You start learning more. You continue to keep learning. And one of the things that people keep saying about this, and I look at Pro Point, I'm like, yo, you guys are doing an excellent job as far as production goes. You guys are putting things on. You guys are on time. I love that, the Ust.tv, that's something that they have a lot of different content on there. They're doing an excellent job with that. So it's nothing really to say. It's like, yo, great. The only thing I got a problem with is some of the scoring that happens. That's pretty much it. Like, that's it. That's all. Like, but the things is like.
But even with that, though, Trav, I don't mean to cut you off, but you can have problems with scoring anywhere, anytime.
Exactly. That's what I was about to get to.
Yes.
It's going to be everywhere. You know, one of the things that there's a clip going on the internet right now where there's a guy who's writing out multiplication tables. He writes out 9 times 1 equals 9, 9 times 2 equals 17, 9 times 3 equals 27, 9 times 4. And he goes all the way down to I think 9 times 12, right? And while he's doing this, everybody keeps going back to the part that the second one he wrote was 9 times 2 equals 17. And everybody's like, no, you got it wrong. You got it wrong. He wrote out 12 different things and all of them were right. But everybody kept pointing back to the one doggone thing that person did wrong. And he turned around and he said, do you see what happened? Yeah. When you do something right 11 times, they'll point out the one time that you did something wrong. And I get that it's a known thing that right now the quality isn't as perfect as we want it to be on VFT. But if we keep working at it and we keep doing it, it's going to get better. And the more money that people put into it and help support it, they can put more money back into the sport, and then we can actually grow this thing, and it'll be sustainable. It just is what it is.
I'm glad you said that, Trev. Started from the bottom. Now we here.
Yeah,
you gotta start somewhere.
Now we here.
We started with an idea, right?
Same thing with Pro Point. I love what they're doing. They've been doing. They got some. Now they're doing some set fights, which is interesting. They got some set fights going on with this thing. But hey, Jake, I don't want to put it out like I'm talking to you. I'm talking about just in general. I keep hearing that about it, and it just keeps coming back, and it's just interesting to me that it keeps happening. It's not about you. It's not. It's just
we got it started with an idea. Then we got some set things going. We put it together. What platform was everybody use? We use Zoom, and there was no budget. Absolutely no budget. This is just Jesse Ray digging in.
All right, count the pockets. Just tell him it came out in the pockets.
On the dice and seeing where we can happen.
Just
the money, flip it, and put it back in.
on screen again. This is a family show. Don't
Oh man,
roll the dice like that, please, sir.
Pause. So then,
Super
right?
pause.
So then
Super pause.
super. So you know, we moved up and we've been working behind the scenes with Juventus, and we pushed them, and they started a streaming service for us. That's progress.
Yep.
Now that's new. Now we're learning that. Now we're trying to figure that out. So in the beginning, of course, there was some hiccups and things of that nature, but people, let
Hey
us
man,
know.
we're
We want to get it right.
gonna have to talk about going live when we're not ready.
Yeah, they went live before we was ready.
I was like, wait, hey, take that down. We're not ready yet. No. That's not it. That's not it. I was like, come on now. Are we live right now?
Exactly. Travis said, okay, good evening, masters. But you know what? Again, we're getting better. We're learning, and we're on a stream. The clarity, the quality, I think it was spot on this time. Wait till we show it again. So
it's gonna get better, man. It is what it is. But as of right now,
We still rolling, baby.
we can do some things like that. But Jesse, I'm gonna have to let you go because we got to get to one more topic.
Oh man, see ya. Yo, thank you. It was a pleasure, and I'll catch y'all guys later.
Yes, sir.
Alex,
Jess, thank you for having me, brother. I appreciate it.
All right, so Jess is going. All right, Los.
Yes.
You're gonna have to talk, brother.
All right, so listen, I just want to talk to everybody that's still with us and still following along with us right now. I come on and I give my views. First of all, I appreciate you all listening to my voice and hearing me and taking what I have to say as value, right? To me, that means a lot. And I just want to say, last week I made a comment about Pro Point and the commentators possibly influencing the judges. And I just want to clear it up. And I'm going to tell you, I'm a type of person, guys, if there's something I say on this podcast that you have a challenge with, or you don't agree, or you don't agree with my opinion, you want to talk to me about it, please feel free to contact me, right? So after the show, and after we had a thing, I got contacted by Alex. Alex contacted me and said that he was kind of hurt, that he felt that I was saying that the judges were influencing the score. And that was not the case at all. I personally, I really enjoy Pro Point. I love what they do for the fighters and how they set the fighters up. This last time they showed a lot of behind the scenes. I was really impressed, as I said in our podcast. And I went back and listened to podcasts to kind of hear like how I presented and how I said the things. I didn't feel I said anything that was totally out of line, but I can understand how with how I'm saying something, it can be interpreted the wrong way, right? So in the thing I was saying, how you could hear Ernest jokingly saying that he was going to pick Jason, this, that, and blah, 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 and that could have influenced the judges. And I was saying it because I didn't know at the time how the judging was done. So it seemed like it was a long time before the scores came up, or they actually brought the score to the announcer, the state announcer. So I'm thinking to myself, like, man, for that time that he's talking, it could have been one of those moments where the judges kind of decided on who they wanted to pick. And because Ernest was saying that, that's what they went with. I would never ask the question the judges' integrity and who they are and who they pick. And nor would I ever feel that commentators or people that speak on the sport and are there for the goodness of the sport would ever do anything to try to influence anything. So I appreciate Alex understanding that we have that type of relationship. And I'm using Alex's name because he's the one that reached out to me. And I want everyone to know, if you ever have a problem with anything I say, please feel free to reach out to me. You can hit me up in the Facebook message. You can call me, whatever, and we can talk. I will always tell you my perspective and where I'm looking at it from. And whether we are able to agree from that point, that's totally on what we decide to do. But I'm always going to speak what I feel and what I see. And it was never in a way that I wanted to bash Pro Point or make Pro Point look bad. Yes, we are sponsored by Virtual Fight Tour, and me and Jesse has probably a closer relationship than I have with a lot of people in the sport, just because of our time coming up. But that's not me saying I don't want to see these guys. I don't want to see Pro Point be amazing, because I think it's a great platform. I love what they do. I personally like the show. I pay for the show just so I can watch it. Right. So that's something that I just wanted to kind of clear the air here a little bit. And I appreciate everyone for, kind of talking with me about it. I was bothered that it got taken that way. So this is why I wanted to speak on it today. So Travis, thank you for giving me the opportunity to kind of say that. And again, I apologize to anybody that I offended or anybody took it the wrong way.
All right. All right, so this is my take on the whole thing. Oh, go ahead, Chris. You about to say
No,
something?
go ahead, Trav. I'm gonna let you go
okay.
first.
All right, so from my
Wait for
point
you.
of my perspective is this: we got Alex Dingman on here on the Martial Arts Internet Network. Sometimes things he says ruffle some feathers. You know, some things I'm pretty sure I've said on here have ruffled some feathers with people. With Chris, I know
Me giving out the Charmin Award can't be the most flattering thing I've ever said.
I know for a fact that if some people heard some of the things that Mike and Eugene say, they would have some ruffled feathers. But I'll leave that as that. But with me, I let our commentators, our podcasters say whatever they feel, right? And if I feel like it's out of bounds, I'll challenge them on it. Like, hey, blah, blah, blah. If they feel like it's inbounds, but I'm going to let them be themselves. That's why I want them on the platform. That's why I want them to do it. I'm gonna stand behind them. This isn't the first time somebody has DM'd us and said, hey, I don't like what you're saying. You need to check somebody or blah, 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 whatever they want to say. I don't think that you like us and this has nothing to do with that. Like, you know what I mean? Like we're just speaking our perspective on certain things. It's not personal. We just think we have a perspective on it. And I'm going to let everybody on our platform say what they need to say. Now, if they step out of line and start talking about some crazy stuff, like blowing up stuff, I'm like, all right, fam, you're not going to be on this platform talking that crazy stuff. They on here talking some talking some racist stuff. I'm like, fam, dog.
Nah, you out of here, son.
No, that's not gonna happen. But or something really out of pocket, and then I'm gonna have to address it. But other than that, I'm gonna let if they walk in the toe in the line, tap dance away. like just don't cross the line. But I don't think that you said though.
No, I don't even feel I don't
You know what I mean?
I would never toe the line. Like, you mean, like I know what I say. I you know what I have to be careful of, and this is what I have to be careful of. Is what I'm going to say going to enhance the sport and get everyone to a better place, right? Because that's my whole ultimate goal, right? Is for when people come in, I give my feedback on certain things. I would never bash anybody. I would just give you my perspective on what I feel could help you get better, right? And even in that,
criticism rather than
but even in that situation, right? I didn't feel I was being wrong. I felt like it was coming out wrong.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? I didn't feel like I wasn't saying that this is what was happening. I was saying from my perspective, this is what it seemed like, right? But I would never, I didn't want it to be taken and I felt, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I want to be careful that, and I have to be more conscious of as to how I say something, so people don't feel like I'm bashing or I'm trying to discredit something, because I would never do that ever in the sport or what we're trying to accomplish.
I mean, it's perspective is the dangerous thing, because you never know how somebody will perceive something.
Yes.
Yeah.
What?
And if you try and
people are going to take things
around there, chances are you're going to be.
And that's why I said, listen, if I say something, you got a problem with it,
right? And that's why I wanted you.
It ain't got to be on this podcast. It ain't got to be.
I'm very accessible.
It ain't got to be some some little secret messages on your little Facebook post. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you got a situation you got to say to me, or you want to talk to me, talk to me.
Right. It don't have to be a fake burner account,
Yeah, no, you ain't gotta be all like that.
On our page. It ain't gotta be none of that. It could just be, just drop us a message and say, hey, you don't agree with something that we said. It is what it is. And if you come to me with it and say, and because I'm behind the scenes on every podcast that's on here, so I'm listening and paying attention. So if I've said certain things to people, but after, like, yo, fam, you kind of a little disrespectful right there.
On that one. Yeah.
Like, what? I'm like, yeah, I'm just letting you know. So if you get some heat coming back from it, it is what it is. I'm just
know that I know it's coming.
Yeah, just like, I understand what's about to happen. So I just wanted to, just address that type of stuff. Like, I mean, look, before us, everybody was super politically correct on their shows. They weren't having opinions. When we came out last year, we were dropping opinions. Like, we were saying, hey, this is
that was the exciting part of our show, Trav. It was us just getting on here and talking. We got to express our love for the sport, what we think about it, plus positives, minuses, what we can do to improve everything, and it gave our voices.
And then y'all just bring me onto the damn show.
Because you were the evolution of it. You like, yeah, just bring a third person in here. And
Boom! Hey, I'm here. What's up, folks? This is what we got going on.
Right. You guys ain't. Now we brought
That's
some people over here to say some raw stuff. I mean, we had a show that was honestly that was probably saying a lot worse.
Listen, I haven't sworn since I've been on the show.
We had a raw show.
No, we did. We had a raw show that was saying a lot worse than what you just said.
I know.
And
Yes, Los, you have not used any words other than that kicking them in the head and whatnot.
Yeah.
But
whenever that show comes back, just let y'all know, yeah, if y'all sensitive about stuff, like look, they were calling people out, promoters out for stealing. Like they were going in. Like so it just
because if I know a lot of y'all know me, and me on this show is very mild mannered compared to how we talk in live. So I mean, it's a very different feel being here while still holding on to my opinion and being able to have that conversation. Just watching how we say certain things.
Mike, I actually watched your show, and I actually really appreciated Josh coming in and explaining what was happening, right? Because that's honestly where I got the information. Like someone can come in here in our comments and say,
right, 100%.
The commentators don't influence the judges to score, but I don't understand it. Like you mean like so when
but see, that was always my problem with it from the standpoint of not knowing what the Georgia score was until like the end. You just like, hey, this person won. You're like, wait, what? How did this person? We don't know what happened. Like this is just
what was the recommendations? What were you using that score?
But honestly, Josh, when I watched Mike's and Jason's show, Josh explained it really well. Like you mean, but I didn't know that. Like, and if it was explained at the beginning of the show, everything like that, and I didn't see that part, right?
Right.
All I did is went into the actual show, and I don't understand how it's all going because I missed the first part, how it was broken down. Maybe in that time, it can be brought up again in certain points of fights. You get what I'm saying? Or kind of brought up or like how
when something happens, like, hell, that person scored and fell out of bounds. But see, I can't get into it because I look, hey, never mind. I'm not going to get into it. I'm just not going to get into it because of like, hey, I don't give out free advice. But no, it's
for lack of a better word, free.
There's something about the setup that I would like. If I were you guys, I would change this because there's something here that you guys are missing. But it just is what it is. Anyway, we got anything else, man? Or y'all want to continue talking about this? We'll get into some of the other stuff that ProPoint did last week. Some announcements they made.
That was interesting.
Yeah. Yes. That was pretty good. I'm interested in how that's going to play out in like and also
lineup's pretty good, man. From what I hear, the lineup is pretty good.
I'm going to say this right now because they also announced that.
I'm sorry, before you go, why hasn't Tyreek been on any of these ProPoint cards? Where would his weight fall at, and where would he be? I would like to campaign to see. He would have
been on the first one, not the second.
Probably
160, 169. So he would have been in that first one if he had fought.
But he's not going to be. He'll be. Well, that one's under 170. Again, that's a big weight gap.
That's what I'm saying. No, he's not going to be on the next one. I'm saying like he would.
Ty usually fights at 40-49, maybe 50-59. So he's a little bit of the lighter end of that spectrum.
Okay.
So he's not going to jump into the 60s.
Yeah, I anticipate he probably will get an offer. Now, whether or not he does it is up to him. I mean, he'll probably get an offer.
I would imagine he would get an offer down at the 40s or 50s. I think it would probably be the 50s, trying to keep it within a certain realm. But we'll see how their 10-pound divisions are going to go. Because like this last one was 60-69, this next one's going to be 70-79. Depending on who fights in it, that may leave a little bit of a less of a card for 80, 89, 90, and 200 plus. But and then the lighter end of it.
How many 200 plus fighters are there?
This is not a lot. I think that's why they switched it. Honestly, I think there's a few things that I think that they did that were smart, and we'll get into this next week. Okay. But is that they originally they did the light one, 169 and under, and then they were going to do heavyweight. But after that, where do you go? You go women, and then you're pretty much done. You know what I mean? So you have to find ways to keep this going. So I think with them going on 169 and under and then going to because I think it was actually more than 169 under. I think it was like 174 and under or something like that. Because I think Ryan George was.
Oh,
It
so
was
they
170.
could have.
It
So
was
that
under, everybody had to be under
169 could have been
170
a
pounds on
different
the first
show.
one.
Yeah, that the first one was supposed to be 169 and under, and then they were supposed to do a second one with just the heavyweights with like 174 and up.
Gotcha. But then now they broke it down into more
Broke
of
it down into the 10
yeah.
points, right? So they can get more shows out of it.
Absolutely.
Which was
Which is
a
smart.
better way of looking at it. But also, you now see them starting to throw set matches in here. So
Yeah.
this is
Right.
you see them they're going to be evolving and trying to change different things, which is interesting. But the other thing that they announced this week was the Pro Point
Yes. Divisions
at these
at
different
tournaments.
ones. So they'll be fighting
So-
the Pro Point style of fighting, but they'll be at the karate tournament and people can enter and fight that way.
And
So
then they
that's
can
gonna-
earn rankings and points and try to earn their way onto the show, which I thought was a really clever idea.
So that's
They're
a
going to
smart
use
way
Murphy's tournament. Yeah. They're going to use
That's a
Murphy's
smart way to
tournament and then
integrate it.
Jim Haymore's tournament.
Yeah. So it's going to be
like how the
interesting.
UFC got the Ultimate Fighter like challenge thing, right? They kind of go and they
The
fight in
Contender
this little
Series
thing.
and the Ultimate.
Contender
Yeah,
Series,
so
yeah,
now
they
you're
kinda-
going to have an availability. You
So
can
it's
build
gonna
up
be interesting
stories
how
and you can kind of work that.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. We can talk about that next week. What they can really go into that. But the other thing that was interesting to me was Promac and the moves that Promac is making. The moves that we can get into Matt martial arts technologies. Yeah, Chris's computer's being ready to die. But we can get into martial arts technologies. We got Uventex. We got there's a lot of different things that we haven't been able to get to because we've been focused on Virtual Fight Tour and Virtual Form Tour. 4.2 and all these other things that were coming up, but now we'll have a chance to actually dive into some of these things that have been moving behind the scenes that is very interesting to me about the future of the sport. Like there's almost like they announced a virtual NASCAR and there's supposed to be another NASCAR, which is it's almost like there's just going to have a split. Like it's like, all right, some people want to do this, some people want to do this. So but then at the same time, you got Promac coming in who is starting to make noise and is starting to gain a traction and a following. So that's going to be interesting to see if Promac starts to really be like the next NBL where they're clashing and fighting with NASCAR, or are they going to still try and stay under them? So that's an interesting
aren't some NASCAR
for now. But for now, with this NASCAR split of what's virtual and what's not, and then the ones that are not are usually tied with Promac. So it's like it's interesting to see what is actually happening. But the more people follow Promac, the more this is happening. So I'm really interested in seeing what actually was about to play out. There's some moves that are being made behind the scenes that I'm just I don't talk about, but I'm just watching.
Yeah,
and I'm very interested. I really want to get to dive into it probably next week with that. These topics, but yeah, those are some of the things. Chris had to drop off because his computer was dying, but yes, he said they made the jump to mat action.
Hey, I have a question. People that were if you're still on with us right now, what do you guys think of the Virtual Fight Tour streaming? Because I couldn't see it because I had my family watching it, which was really cool. They were able to give me some feedback. What were your thoughts on the streaming there, guys? Can you put them in the comments for us real quick? I meant to do it earlier.
So by that standpoint, we got Richard Osborne says open point fighters numbers are thin. Need to build it back up. There needs to be a reason for people to want to keep competing. Like after a while, you can only go to Minnesota so many times before you get tired of going. We see people who take breaks at 25, 26 years old. Can you imagine LeBron James stopping doing martial arts and going 25-year-old LeBron James quitting? You know what I mean? Because it's like, all right, I'm done. You just don't see that. Or you see people when they leave the sport, you know, they start the school and they're focused on the school, but they're not coming back. They're not even thinking about this. Like there's no reason to. Like we were talking before, like when I left and I stopped competing, I wasn't paying attention at all. Only time I paid attention was when Avery and Morgan was competing. You know what I mean? And you like the same thing. You said this time, now that you're back, is that you have been paying a lot more attention to some of these fighters and seeing who are some of the good fighters and stuff like that. All right.
First, it was tough to get in.
Yeah, had to reload the page a few times. All right. I think that was one of the things that everybody was used to getting the email and being able to, and then had to adjust to actually go to the log into my Uventex. Mike said he had it pause on me twice for less than a minute, but other than that, no problems.
That's cool.
He said it was better than prior broadcasts, but it still wasn't as clear to see as Pro Point. Yeah, there's a difference in camera. The stream was great. The only issue is you couldn't hear the fight, only commentators. But commentating was so good, it worked. Well, yeah, Ben. One of the things that we were struggling with was the volume inside of the room.
Yeah.
So a lot of times the mat makes a loud sound. So the stream was taking us off, and all you heard was the slamming of the mats. And every now and then you would hear somebody say something. So there wasn't like a real good balance where you can hear. And so we did bring it on a couple times, but sometimes we would drop that. We have to mute them because it was just too loud and you couldn't actually hear anything, hear the commentators. Yeah, okay. We just talked about that. All right, the stream was great. All right, we got about 27. All right, well, we had 145. All right.
Yeah, I mean, Richard. Yeah, that's kind of we kind of expect that. I mean, this is the first time kind of going into it. Pro Point definitely has, as we talked about before, a little bit more money behind it. So their cameras are better. Their streaming is probably better with some of the things they have going on.
Yeah, there was a lot of background. The boards in the ring was kind of loud, and the voices in the building are loud. Yeah, so that's the real reason that we had to dull it down a little bit.
Well, luckily for us, we did a pretty good job commentating, and people were actually able to follow along and listen to us.
Yeah, they can hear us and talk to us. But
my family watched it, man, and my daughter was all into it. My oldest daughter and my kids.
Yeah, I saw the pictures of you posted.
That made me happy, man.
Yeah, that was kind of cool, man. It
was like they were happy to see me, like, and then like to see what was going on. And my daughter was watching the ladies fight, so I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, but see, that's my point. These platforms is highlighting specific fighters. When you go to a karate tournament, it is participation driven, right? Yeah. So that means you're focused on you competing, blah, blah, blah. You don't really get to see the higher ups or the younger or the underbelts and things like that aren't actually watching the black belts and brown belts or whatever compete, right? You're not being able to watch them and actually follow and learn something. Half the time you've been in the tournament all day, you're getting the heck out of there by the time the black belts fight. What you smirking at?
Oh, I said we should talk about the Yaskar Jason war.
Yeah, we got into that.
We talked about that. We talked about it like an hour ago.
Yeah, we did it about an hour ago. Once we end this broadcast, go ahead and rewind it or download it, the podcast tomorrow morning.
It's been a good podcast, man. You'll like it. We had a good conversation today. We talked about everything. It was great. The fights were good, man. It was a good time. Just calling them and everything.
I see Ben said, hey, the Juventex view was actually perfect. Could see all the points, not any different than Pro Point. All right. Bringing it back. All right, guys. We out of here. Yep. It's 10:30. We've been out on this podcast for 147. I knew it was going to be long, but hey, it is what it is. All right. And of course, like we always do, we got to.
I keep some change in my pocket. Chase the children at home. I give them a few pennies so that we can be alone.
I want to go home. I want to go home. I'm ready to go home. I'm ready to go home. Peace out, everybody. We out. Thanks, you.